Once again, as you can see on your screen, today we'll be looking at migrating hypertext preprocessor point of sales system from offline to online practical. In our previous lesson, we then talk about how to migrate this theoretical aspect for us to better understand what it entails. And today we are going to focus on the practical aspect. The whole concept is that most people prefer to set system online, but before they would then tell you to migrate the system online, they wanted to test the system to see how the system is working or how relevant the system is before they can choose to advise themselves whether to move online so that they can access their sales across the group, respond to wherever they find themselves. Having said that, today's segment we are going to then focus on how to set up the hypertext preprocessor point of sales, how to then migrate it from offline to online practically. Having said that, I would like to share my entire screen so that we look at it practically. Okay, so therefore, as we can see, this is my desktop. Now, most of the time, for you to then migrate your system from offline to online, remember that the system is already working offline. A typical example is this. As we can all see here, you can see here this very side here, you can see that it is where I've highlighted, it is localhost. You see it here, localhost / Armstrong POS / public source / login. That is that means that the POS or the system is working offline. Now remember that I said that before you can migrate a system from offline to online, you must have a domain. But before you get a domain, you must make sure that you zip all this system, your file, from your local host, and then before migrating it into online. So let's look at how we can then zip all the file from the local host. First, to do this, you must make sure that you def to your local host. You see where we have local host. Just highlight on here and just type and say PHP my admin. Okay, so you make sure you go to PHP my admin, which means that when we go to the PHP my admin, our focus is to extract the database, so we can have all the records that our customer or whoever we have deployed the system for, we can have all the files accurately. Since we deploy the system to him or her, the sales that he indeed has rendered into the system, you can get all that accurately. So you can remember that we create a database and we name the database Armstrong POS. So you have to click on the database. So these are all my database files. So when I click on my database here, when you click on the plus here, it will expand for you to see all the table. When you click on the minus, it will then close the expand button. So after selecting your database, make sure it is selected. What I would like you to do is that look through the menu here and then go to where we have export. Okay, so click on export. So when you click on export, by default you can see a quick display only the main operations. You can choose to select custom and leave it as it is. Make sure the format is SQL and then go ahead and click on go. You can see it here, you see, so it is downloading and more or less it has finished downloading. So my total database file is 248 kilobytes. So it is done. So after that, what I'll do is that I'll go ahead and then minimize this and then go to where we have this PC. Then I'll minimize this window also separately at one side. Then I'll open my document, which is this one, also separately to this side, which I'll minimize both this way so that we can all see what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to pick my database file from this window. So I'll go to download, and in the download, this is my database file here, this very one here. So I'll select it and I'll right click on it and I'll click on copy. You can equally select it and hold on to Ctrl+C to copy, and you are good to go. Having done that, what I'll do again is that I'll go ahead to my local disk, which is my drive C, local disk, double click on it. Then I'll go to my XAMPP. Well, I have a couple of XAMPP. I'm using this very one, the XAMPP here, double click on that. Then I'll go to where we have htdocs, double click on that. Then you can see when I scroll down here, I have my Armstrong POS, as you can see here. Double click on that to be open, and this is my Armstrong POS. Moreover, this is the folder, so I can equally leave it as it is and then use only this folder, or you can equally highlight on all this, and then you compress it or zip it. So for me to be at the safer side, I will just create a new folder. So I right click on this, click on new, and click on my folder, and I'll go ahead and name this folder, let's say my POS. Okay, then I'll double click on my POS and then paste my point of sales here, which is the database that I exported. So I'll put the database here, then I'll go back. So this is all the files that I picked from this. So I'll select app, select the bootstrap, config, database. So I'll select public, resource, and all these files, I'll select them. Then after that, I'll go ahead and copy that. Then go to my POS, and I'll paste that here. So I'll wait for it to copy all that into my folder that I created, namely my POS. So after that, then we can just go ahead and compress it. Let's wait for it to finish copying everything into the folder. Okay, so as you can see, it has finished copying my entire files. So I'll go back, and this is my point of sales. I'll right click on it and then go to send to and click on compress to zip folder. So I'll do that and wait for it to compress to zip folder. Okay, so as you can see now, it is down here, and this is my zip file, that is my POS file here. Now we are done, and we've prepared our file that we want to take it to a particular hosting platform. Now remember that in our previous lesson we talked about before you can migrate a system from offline to online, you must get a hosting company. You can equally use Hostinger, or probably Bluehost, or probably you can also use UltraHost Ghana. These are hosting platform that you can go and then you can just buy a hosting package from them, or probably a domain from them, and then you are good to go. So as I've prepared my file now I'll go directly to my cPanel. So in my cPanel here, you could all see that I'm in my cPanel. That is armstrongcomputers.org. That is my cPanel. So what I'll do is that I'll go ahead. Remember that we create some couple of domain when we're looking at our login system. So let me just test that. Now when I go to my domain, for instance, it's going to display some couple of subdomain for me. So let me see how many domains I have currently. So I have currently like 2 domains or 3. So I have one that is armstrongcomputers.org and so on and so forth. here I have some couple of domains that currently I'm not using some of them. Now we've seen this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete these subdomains. So I'll select the king. Okay, so far the king's domain is concerned that I created, and I'll just go ahead and click on this is where we have manage them, of course. So when I click on manage, so to ask whether I want to remove the domain, yes, I want to remove them, and click on yes, remove. Okay, so you can see here it has successfully removed them. So it's left with one called Bottle Balotti, this very one here, Bottle Balotti. So I can equally select that one also and click on manage and click on remove domain, and I'll go ahead and click on yes. You will see that it's processing here, so I'll wait a while. Okay, so you can see that domain has also been removed. So I'll go ahead and create a new domain. So I'll click on, I'm creating a new subdomain, of course. So click on create a new subdomain. So in here, the subdomain I'm going to create is going to be Armstrong POS dot, see, Armstrong POS dot Armstrong computers. That's what I'm going to do for the subdomain. So Armstrong POS dot Armstrong computers dot org. So I don't want to share files, I want that to be also be separately. So I'll go ahead and click on what, submit. Then I'll wait a while for that particular domain should be created. So you can see that it is rotating here nicely. So you can see that it is, I've submitted it, it is rotating. So when it is done creating, it will then tell me that it is successful. So let's wait for that. Okay, you can see my subdomain, which is what, Armstrong POS dot Armstrong computer dot org, is created successfully. Okay, having created our subdomain, I'll go back to my cPanel. There's one thing again that we must look out for. What we must do again is that we must go ahead and then create a database. We need to have to your cPanel, come to this where we have a database wizard. So I'll click on my database wizard. Then I'll give a name to my database as what, Armstrong POS. Then I'll click on next. Then I have to give a name to my database like the way we did in the XAMPP where we have roots. Okay, here also I need to give a name to it. So the name I'm going to give to my database is what, is, let's say, costs. So it's going to be Armstrong underscore costy, kind of a vowel. Okay, the next thing I like to do is to type my password. So I'll just go ahead and type my password. So I just use a random password, of course. Okay, let me use just a simple one. You have to make sure that the password is the same. I don't want to forget it. So let me just open this. So I'm typing the password that I'm using. So this is the password I'm using. So I'll copy that and paste it here, and you repeat the same password here. Done. So after I'm done, I'll just go ahead and click on what, create what, user, create user. So I'll do that. So after I've created the user, bear in mind that this is my what, my database. You will see here step 3. I have what, say add user to what, the what, to the database. So I need to do, before you do that, make sure you copy all this. So that becomes your what, your username and your database. So after that, I'll open my notepad and paste it here, and this is my password, so I'll make it panned. So I have this here, as you can see here. So that is my user, my pan, my password, and this is my database, and this is my what, my username. Now having said that, I have to come to this and click on what, okay, all privileges, and scroll down and click on what, make changes. So done, my database is created successfully. Now remember that you must make sure that you keep record of your username, your database, and then what, your password. Now this is what we are going to use to finally what, connect your database to your what, your PHP file. having said that, the next thing I'll be doing is that I'd like us to go directly to our cPanel. And in our cPanel, now we need to upload the file into the what? Into our cPanel. To do this, come to where we have what? File Manager. Now, after you click on the File Manager, what I'd like you to do again is that I'd like you to go ahead, Armstrong POS. So when you come here, you can see I have some couple of directories here. Okay, so when I scroll down here, I'm looking for the Armstrong POS. Let me refresh it again. So you can see it here. So I have Armstrong here, Armstrong POS. Now this is some couple of directory that I created. The SAP, any SAP domain that you will create is going to create a folder in your cPanel like this. Okay, so it's going to create a SAP folder in your cPanel. So, but if you don't want them, I created one called this, and I created another one this, created another one that. So these are a couple of directory that I created, but I can equally delete them. So let me delete them because I don't need them. Okay, so we have the subdomain we created was Armstrong POS.Armstrong Computers. So I'll go ahead and double click on that for that to be open. Okay, so for you to see whether that domain is working, you can equally I can equally highlight on it like this. Okay, and come here and paste that there, press enter. So you can see here, so it is working perfectly. Now let's create a dummy file and put it in it and see whether it's going to work. So I'll go directly to my cPanel. So this is the folder that I just created, Armstrong POS.Armstrongcomputers.org. This is its file. So I'll highlight all what is inside it. This is all what is inside it here, and I'll delete those directories. So it is deleted. So let me create a different file for us to see that it is working. So I'll click on File, and I'll call it index.html and create that file in it, and this is it here. Then I'll go ahead and then I'll edit it. So edit, click on edit now, and I'll do some doc decoration. I'll do some doc type decoration for you to see that it is working perfectly. Then go ahead and bring my body. So I'll just create a header, and I'll call it, let's say, my page. Okay, or let's say my POS page. Then I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes and come to my domain here and refresh that. You can see that it is showing now. So basically that is just that. You can see that it is showing nicely. So that means my domain is working. So as my domain is working now, I'll go ahead and come to my index, which is my text editor, so far my index is concerned, and close that and come back to my cPanel, which is this domain. This is the file I created in the domain. Okay, so I'll go ahead and right click on it and just delete that. So after deleting it, now I've zipped all my files, so I need to now go ahead and import those files here. So to do that, just click on what we have, what upload here, and select override existing file. In case you have the same file there, you should override it so that you will not have a duplicate file. Go ahead and click on select file. You can equally drag and then you drop it in there and it will work perfectly. So I'll go to my point of sales, go to local disk, and go to my XAMPP, and go to, remember that we zip it in the htdocs folder. So I'll go to the htdocs and select my POS, and you can see I have here my POS zip file. This is it here. So I'll go ahead and click on open and wait for it to then import into my domain. So let's wait for that for a while. This will take some couple of minutes, some couple of seconds, so let's wait for it. Okay, so as you can see here, it has finished, it has completed successfully to 100. So I'll go back to my my file manager so far as my domain is concerned. So in my file manager where I have Armstrong POS, this is the zip file. So I'll go ahead and right click on it, and then I will extract it. You can say we have Armstrong dots, so that means that you want it to be here. So click on extract file. Now when you click on extract file, it's going to extract the file into the domain. So it's going to be Armstrong POS dot domain, and you click on cancel. That's going to be displayed here, but don't be alarmed. Double click on it to be open. Go ahead and click on select all like this. Okay, so when you select all, you must make sure you move it to the subdomain directory itself. So as it has highlighted, might just go ahead and click on what move. So you can see the move. I have what Armstrong POS dot Armstrong computers dot org. So I'll take off this one, take it off, and then take off the slash and just click on move file. So it's going to move directly. When I go back, it's going to move directly here. You see everything is in the subdomain folder. Having said that, so sometimes it's advisable that do not go ahead and delete your zip file. Leave it, configure everything, and see whether everything is working first before you go ahead to do such configuration. In terms of you to delete my POS zip file. Having said that, what I'd like you to do again is that go ahead and then I'd like you to just directly open your username, your database, and then the password. So this is it here. So that's why you need to connect that. So to connect that, remember that we created a database and we named the database what Armstrong. There's no gene there, so I know how to pronounce that one. So underscore Armstrong POS. So basically that is this. That is the database name, and this is the username. But before we do the connection, let's go directly to the cPanel again. So in my cPanel, I'll go to cPanel, which is the cPanel homepage itself. Then I'll scroll down and come to where we have my PHP my admin. So click on it. So after you click on PHP my admin, the next thing I'd like you to do is that you will see that this is your database. We created a database in as what Armstrong underscore Armstrong POS. So now we need to import the database that we have extracted from the local host into the our PHP my admin in the cPanel. So what I will do is that as it is selected, I'll go ahead and click on import. Then I'll come to this site and click on what we have, choose file. So after selecting choose file, well, I instructed it 2 times, so I'll select this very one, which is my PHP, my Armstrong POS.SQL. So that is my file extension. So I'll click on open, and then I'll scroll down here and click on imports here, and wait for it for a couple of minutes and seconds, and then it will just import all the table into my database. So let's wait for it. Okay, So as you can see now, this error is nothing but, don't worry, I'm going to introduce something to you for you to better understand. Now this error simply means that the PHP version I'm using is not corresponding with what my table, but don't worry, we'll be changing it very soon. Having said that, now I like to connect my database, okay, to my config file. Okay, so I need to do the connection. So to do that, what I must do is I must go to where we have the cPanel. So in the cPanel, I'll screw up and come to where I have file manager. Now remember the sub domain that I created, that is the name here. We call it armstrongpos.armstrongcomputersystem.org. So I'll double click on it to be open, and it will open. So as it's open, this is here, so we have .env, this very file. Select that, and after I select that, I'll click on what we have, edit, and click on edit. So after I click on edit, now I need to then do some configuration here. If you could remember, we created a database named this and the database file named that. So I must do the connection. So here I must highlight on my database name, copy that, and then come here in my localhost. We created a database known as Armstrong POS, so I'll highlight that one and replace that. So that is the Armstrong POS. So I'll come back there, and now I need to use the username in the localhost is root. So I must copy this, which is the Armstrong_Costi, and highlight on the root and paste that there. Having done that, the next thing I like to do is that you go back to the pan, which is the password. So I'll highlight on this password, copy that, and come to this very side and paste the password also. So after that, come to save changes and click on save changes. Okay, so I've saved changes. I'm not done. But when you watch very well, in our local host here, where we have line 7, this very side, line 7, we did some couple of things. What we did was that we then changed the URL. We said the local host was http :/localhost/Armstrong POS/public. But when we come to our domain here, it is ArmstrongPOS.armstrongcomputers.org. So you have to copy all this and come to your .env, and then highlight from here to the localhost. To the Armstrong POS. So, and then you paste that and take off that. So it's going to be /public. Go ahead and click on save. So after I'm done, now I must go ahead. So I've done the connection. So the next thing I must do is I must change the version of my PHP. Okay, so on our XAMPP control panel, the version of the PHP we are using is 7.2. Okay, someone asked to say, how sure are you? Let me show you how. So I'll go to my local host here, where we was extracted the file, the database. So I'll go to PHP. Let me just backspace this, and I'll maintain my local host. Press enter, and it will take me to the dashboard of my local host. Then I'll come to see it says version 7.3.11, which means that so in between 7.2 and 7.3.11 it is going to work. But I can equally come to where we have PHP information. When I click on the PHP information, you can see it's version 7.3.11. So when I fall between version 7.2 or version 7.3.11. So that is the version I'm using. So as I'm using the PHP version 7.3.11, I must go ahead and do that setting and change the version of my PHP in my cPanel. Okay, so for you to do that, go to your cPanel. So in my cPanel here, I'll scroll down and come to where we have select PHP version. I'll click on that. and you can see currently the current PHP version I'm using is 8.1. okay, that's what I'm using. You also to just go ahead, click on the tasked arrow here, scroll down, and I'd like you to select 7.3 because that is the version we are using. So I'll go ahead and click on what, apply, and wait for it to just confirm that. Okay, so it is successful. So what I'll do is that I'll go to my domain, this is my domain, and refresh. Voila, you will see that I am in now. So as I'm in now, I need to test it to see whether it is working. So I'll go ahead and then click on admin, so, and type my password. And then you can see I am in now. Now remember that in our previous lesson I said that anytime you finish migrating, you must test the system to see whether everything is working. So because the product is in offline, before I migrated it to the system, I must check whether all the products are there. So mine is to just go to where we have products and come to product list. So you can see everything is there nicely, so everything is working. I've seen it. So let me see previous transactions. So I must go to where we have what, reports, and go to where we have sales representative reports, and select all users, select the location Ama store, and select, let's say, last 7 days, whether we have some sales. So I don't have any sales, so let's say yesterday. Do I have any sales yesterday? I don't have any sales, so let's make last this month. I don't have any sales, so let's select last month. So I don't have any sales for last month also, so let's select last month last year. So this month this year, so I don't have any sales, so let's come to this year. So this year I have some couple of sales, so you will see that all the sales are intact, so everything is intact. So basically that is just that, and that is how to migrate a system from what, offline to online. So basically that is just that.
Strong computers, we're leading the way, bringing ICT to your doorstep every day. Where vision meets excellence, we stand strong, transforming students where they belong. In the halls of knowledge, we light the spark.